What up, what up? Mike D here with another top 5. This top 5 is gonna be really, really special. Hit that subscribe button on According to Hip Hop's YouTube channel, just so you can make sure that you stay in tune with all of the content that we got coming, because we got a whole lot coming. Click that bell icon so you'll know when myself and Coop go live, or when anybody else on the channel goes live, all right? No further ado, man, this is gonna be my top 5 Takeoff verses. Takeoff is, man, I don't even know what to say, man, but I'm just gonna get into it. Number 5, I got Chinatown from the Young Rich mixtape. Takeoff, he really got my attention on that record, because you hear the singles, you hear the stuff that the Migos is doing, and I remember hearing that record. It's actually like number 2 on the mixtape, and I was like, yo, this guy with the second verse can really rap. The bars are there, the flow is there, and really you could tell how he's laying the foundation for what the Migo flow ends up becoming in future projects. I got his verse on T-Shirt. He set that record off, even though Bad and Bougie was the street single at the time, which ended up being mainstream. The actual industry single, or the single that was really the first single for Culture, that they really put a lot into, was T-Shirt. And him setting it off was a big deal with that. It was the first time I really heard Quavo doing some harmonizing background vocals over his verses, and the mixture of Unconfused was undeniable from that moment. It's actually one of my favorite Migo moments, period, where you had Takeoff doing his flow, and you had Quavo in the back harmonizing, and you had the ad-libs on top of that. Incredible verse. I want to actually go listen to it right now. Number 3, I got Takeoff's verse on Fight Night. Fight Night was important because at that time, most of the big singles, they had Quavo on the hook. And Fight Night was really Takeoff's coming out party for the people in the clubs, because we were actually listening to Takeoff like on the actual albums, on the mixtapes, and like, yo, this dude got bars. But Fight Night actually brought him into the club arena, where he had the hook, he had the first verse. You know how they used to start off their songs and then rewind it back and then play it back? That was those type of moments, and Fight Night's extremely important to Takeoff's career. Number 2, Cross the Country. Cross the Country, he set it off. That was when they did the video out there in Paris. I believe they were in Paris. I know they were overseas. And Migos start blowing up, and that's when the whole Beatles comparison start coming about, because people were seeing the fandom that these guys had created. And Across the Country, he set it off. Once again, first verse, and he was going on and on. I think it's like a 24-bar verse. Very important verse for him. Very important verse for, again, Migos in general. When they were getting tagged as quote-unquote mumble rappers, they were showing, and Takeoff specifically was showing that, look, I take my pen serious, and I take my pen extremely serious no matter what type of record it is. So yes, Cross the Country, number 2. And my number 1 is Gucci Mane's I Get the Bag, featuring Takeoff. Once again, setting it off with the first verse. First verses are very important in this era specifically. And Takeoff took that verse and took a hold of it, and the way that, again, Unconfused, you had Quavo on the hook, and then he just comes in and kills it. And then Quavo comes back with the hook. That was the verse. That was the verse that made people on a mainstream level know, like, yo, this dude wasn't left off Bad and Bougie. He just, wasn't on the record. He can make hits. He can make important solo verses, first verses, or standout verses. And he did that on I Get the Bag. So, should I go through my honorable mentions? Because I got a few honorable mentions. I'm gonna pull out the phone for this, because there's a whole lot of honorable mentions and I don't want to miss anything. His verse on Hannah Montana, honorable mention. That Way, Stripper Bowl, he had the last verse on there. Antidote, Dope in My Sock, Young Rich Niggas, the Q song. That song was crazy. That was the first song to let me know, yo, this dude can really, really rap. And Rich Than Famous. Rather Be Rich Than Famous was another one. So those are some of my honorable mentions, and obviously Slippery and Get Right With You too. I just gotta throw him in there, man, because this dude, his impact was important. Let me get back to my top 5 though. Let me give you a recap. Number 5, Chinatown. Number 4, T-Shirt. Number 3, Fight Night. Number 2, Cross the Country. And number 1, I Get the Bag. Those are my top 5 Takeoff verses. Rest in peace to Takeoff, man. You're gonna be missed. I don't even know what to say. I'm a real fan. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've been a real fan. People who watch the show, y'all know how I feel about Takeoff and the Migos, and just that combination and the chemistry that those guys had. Very, very sad news. Very sad news. And I hope that this top 5 puts certain people on to some of the verses that they might not have been aware of, and makes people who already were aware of some of these verses, kind of reminisce a little bit. And also, if I miss some, that you think should be on here, put that in the comment section too, man. Do it for Takeoff, and we really appreciate y'all. Hit that subscribe button, hit that bell icon, like I said, so that you know when we're going live. Until next time, I'm gonna holler at y'all. Can't wait to talk about the next top 5 with y'all as well. Peace.